How close are we to like a World War III type scenario?
One madman away. You know,
And there's a lot of them,
when I
right?
was young, I was I had an uncle who was a very brilliant man. He was a professor at MIT, and I believe he was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT. He was there for almost 40 years, Dr. John Trump. And he would tell me about the power of nuclear, and I sort of wouldn't believe it. And he was right. The power is so massive. It's so incredibly powerful. But everybody said, because of this power, nobody will use it because they're assuming that people are sane. Somebody will use it. And when they use it, it will be devastation like never seen before. But the theory on nuclear is that it's so powerful that no person will ever use it. But that's assuming that people are sane. Or it's assuming that people win wars because, you're not going to use it. But if you're going to lose a war, you'll say, hey, we're losing the war. If we use nuclear, that makes up for a lot of loss. That's what will happen. And so it's very dangerous. But the theory was that nobody would ever use it because of the power, because of the destructive capability of nuclear. And the fact is that there are people out there right now, there are countries out there right now, the leaders and the leadership, and I know a lot of them, they would use it. If forced, they would use it. And once it gets used, the world as you know it will end. And when I see these people talking about global warming, where the ocean will rise by 1/100th of an inch over the next 350 years, where it's going to get a little bit warmer or a little bit cooler. They don't know. It used to be global warming.
They don't talk about it as much, though.
No, they don't talk. No,
Al Gore went into hiding or something.
Well, no, now they call it climate change because they said it's going to get warmer. It was getting colder. Then it was going to get colder. It's getting warmer. They used to say global cooling because they thought the world was going to freeze. That was in the 1920s. They had a thing, global cooling. Then it went to global warming, but that wasn't working. So now they go to climate change because that covers everything. But your real global warming would be nuclear global warming. That's a warming that will take seconds. And that's a warming that will melt granite. You know what granite is? It's a very powerful, very hard stone. If you take a look at Hiroshima, or Hiroshima, as a lot of people call it, Nagasaki, where they used nuclear in a very primitive form, it actually took granite, large areas of granite, and melted it. And now it's like an ice skating rink. It melted into virtual water. And now when it hardened, it was absolutely stone cold level. It melted granite. You could hit granite with a blowtorch and it won't even do anything to it. So you're talking about a level of power, a level of heat, a level of destruction. Nobody talks about that. They talk about global warming. It's sick. And we have to get rid of nuclear weapons. One of the things I was going to do and I would have done is the denuking of everything, the denuclearization of everything, because you have to take them away. You have to get rid of and Russia would have done it and China would have done it. I used to talk to Putin about it. He loved the idea of doing it.
So what, we would have taken away nukes and they would have as well?
Where you denuclearize, where you actually get rid of nuclear weapons. They're too destructive. They're so bad. They're so dangerous. A World War III will be many, many, many times greater than World War I or World War II because of the weaponry. You're not going to have army tanks going around shooting each other. You may have that too, but ultimately that won't matter.